Okay, let's get started. This week, as you already are accustomed to this year, we got a 2-for-1 special. Baruch Hashem, huh? Kosh Baruch Hu is hooking it up this year, huh? You come to the store, he's giving you, Prime Day deals. This is the last day of Prime Day. Kosh Baruch Hu also give you 2-for-1. 2-for-1 special. Matot Masei. 2 Parashot in 1. Baruch Hashem. Matot Masei. Now what's going on in this week's Parashat? This week's Parashat, Matot, really it starts talking about vows. A man who makes a vow, how important it is that a person shouldn't take a vow in vain, to just say things so loosely, I'm going to do. And what happens if you have a young girl who's in her father's house and she makes a vow, her father can nullify it, so too if she gets married, her husband can nullify it as long as it's on the same day. But we're going to get back to that piece. I want to focus in on something a little bit more important. In this week's parasha, probably one of the hardest things, for anyone who gets engraved in the 5 books of the Torah, the first 5 books, probably one of the hardest things is to hear about is Moshe Rabbeinu dying. Probably one of the hardest things in all Torah is when Moshe Rabbeinu passes away. This week's parasha, Moshe Rabbeinu hears the news that you'll have one last mission in this world, and that last mission is to go to war. To go to war. The Midyanim who caused you guys to sin in last week's parasha, that they had all the men falling with the women, that caused 24,000 people to die because of the plague. Now it's time you go out to war against them. And Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm telling you, you went up this hill, the same way you're going to go up this hill after you finish the war, and you're going to go back to your nation, like your brother did, meaning to say you're going to pass away. Now imagine Hashem is telling him, this is the last thing you're going to do, and after that, that's it. You're leaving the world, right? You're leaving the world, Kivechol. You're going out to war. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't specify a timeline. He didn't tell him you're going out to war right now, go down right away and get it done. He told him, you have to go out to war. Didn't specify a time, didn't specify when. No, I'm asking you guys, right? Imagine this is you, yeah? Imagine you right now talking to God. Alvai, imagine HaKadosh Baruch Hu talking to you face to face. Talking to God, he tells you, listen, you got one more thing to do. You can eat that sandwich over there, and that's it, it's over. What are you doing? Ooh, that sandwich is already going to get rotten by the time you're going to come touch it. You're going to Dubai, you're going on vacation, you're going around, you're taking your sweet time, right? You don't want to die. You don't want to leave this world, so you can take your time. You're not going to go out to war right away. Moshe Rabbeinu, what could he have done? Take his time, come down, let me go in a couple of places, let me go see the world, let me go hang out with some friends, let me go light a couple of nagilot, sit down, pina coladas, yanin, go to, have a good time. So that's it. It's the end of the days anyways, no? The world's ending tomorrow. What you doing? Yeah? Then Moshe Rabbeinu, what did he do? What did he do? As soon as he got down from the house, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him you're going to die after you go to war, what's the first thing he did? He went to the nation to gather them, to take them out to war. Without even skipping a beat. Without even skipping a beat. Now obviously there's something crazy question over here. Moshe Rabbeinu, what happened? You don't love this life? We know that Moshe Rabbeinu loved this life, because when Hashem told him, that's it, you have to pass down your leadership to Yeshua Ben Nun, he fought for it. The Midrash says he fought for it. He didn't want to let it go so easy. He said, wait, Hashem, maybe let me just be assistant. Let me at least don't, that's it. Don't just take me away cold turkey. Let me at least maybe be his assistant. He'll be the leader. There's a concept that the leadership doesn't go into leadership. Moshe Rabbeinu, once the time Yeshua Ben Nun came, now you cannot come and be a leader as well. He said, but let me be his right hand. Let me see. Let me at least not go. So Moshe Rabbeinu didn't want to leave the world. So I come over here, Hashem is telling him, go to war and then you're going to die. And right away he's going to run. Zariz al mitzvah. Quick to go to the mitzvah. Why? Moshe Rabbeinu was a tzaddik his whole entire life. His whole life was magdish to Hashem and the nation. He sanctified his whole entire life to Hashem and the nation. You don't have enough mitzvot, you don't have enough good deeds that you did in your life. You have to go and chase another one. Hashem gave me a commandment. I have to go be zariz. Well, you don't want to go enjoy a little bit of life. Right away comes out from the hall, gather the nation. Right away, gather the nation, we're going out to war. Didn't skip a beat. Didn't skip a beat. And from here we learn something beautiful from Moshe's actions. A few things. One of the things is how important it is a person can take his ratzon, his will, and nullify it to Hashem's will. Now what does Chazal teach us? A person who takes his will, says, I want to do something, but Hashem wants something else, to go and do what Hashem wants, to do it in a steadfast way. What happens now when a person nullifies his will for another person? Says Chazal, that Hashem nullifies the wills of others to his. Meaning to say now, imagine now you walk into the store, you want to buy yourself a new car. Huh? You walk into the store, you guys listen, I can only do 120 on the Range Rover. I cannot do $1 less. Huh? Limited edition, white on red, black on blue, black and blue, white on purple, whatever, the whole 9 yards, right? Whatever colors are in nowadays. Not everyone, what does it make a difference? You're going to wrap the car anyways, no? You're going to go down to one of those stores and get the car wrapped in orange, purple, green. Anyways, right? But it's a limited edition, white, shiny pearl white. 120, I can't do a better deal. What's his ratzon? Sell you the car for 120. What's your ratzon? To get it for 110, 105. Give me a deal. Tell the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you want me to tell your ratzon for me? Don't worry, I'll leave it ratzon on shanim achirim. You come into the dealership, you say, listen, my friend, I know you want 120, I want 105. You know what? I'm in a good mood today. I woke up this morning, it's a good morning. Yalla, 105. Huh? Not only in business, in everything you do. You're fighting with a person, boom, here's ratzon. Everything you do. Everything you do. We talked about it a few times in the past. But we see Moshe Rabbeinu teaching us. Even when he wanted to do something different, Hashem wanted him to go and do it. So what did he do? He went and did it. Didn't even blink. Didn't even bat an eye. Another beautiful lesson that we learn from Moshe Rabbeinu is what's the value of a mitzvah? The value of a mitzvah. If a person understood.
Someone's car double park outside, I don't move it, please.
We'll edit it out, don't worry. Huh? The second thing we learn is, one is, what's the importance of a mitzvah? What's the value of a mitzvah? Moshe Rabbeinu understood that a mitzvah is worth its weight in gold. It's one of the most valuable things in the world. It's even more valuable than time. A mitzvah is more valuable than time. How do you know? Because a mitzvah is the one thing that you can do in this world that once you leave, you can no longer do. Right? You can elevate yourself in the next world. You believe in the next world? You can elevate yourself into the next world only one way. Only one way. By doing mitzvah. As soon as you leave, as soon as you get to the next world, you want to go up. You want to go to the, you see over there, you're standing right, now you go to a festival, right? You go to a concert. You're in the nosebleed. Now you see the guys downstairs by the front stage and they're chilling. You want to go up closer? Says the security guard, don't take a step forward. He's like, but there's an open seat right over there. Anyway, it's open. Let me go sit down. No, you need a couple extra mitzvot to get over there. But I go, okay, I'll do a couple of mitzvot. I'll do it right now. What do you want me to do? How much you need? Talk to me. What's up? You want me to go outside right now, help a homeless guy, open a car door? What do you need me to do? Whatever you want. He says, no, it's too late now. It's only down there. It's not up here. A mitzvah is the most valuable thing in the world. Says Moshe Rabbeinu, understand that a mitzvah is the most valuable thing. That even if it's my last day, what do I want to spend that day doing? A mitzvah. And the third, final thing is what we want to talk about, is that a person never needs to be too sure of himself. Meaning to say, he never has to feel like he has enough. Moshe Rabbeinu, is there anything greater than him in the whole entire world? Moshe Rabbeinu was the greatest prophet to ever live. The greatest prophet to ever live. There was no one greater than Moshe Rabbeinu. Literally, his whole life sanctified to God. Everything Hashem told him to do, he did. Every mitzvah in the book, pretty much he did. Even the ones that in Eretz Yisrael because he wanted to. And Chazal teaches us that a person wants to do a mitzvah, and it's out of his powers to do it, but he wanted to do it, it's as if he did it. So all 113 mitzvot he did. Big tzaddik. Bigger than you could possibly imagine. And even still, one last mitzvah, he still went for it. You just say, I'm Moshe Rabbeinu, I don't need that extra one over there. You take that. Imagine you come to a millionaire, bro, you dropped $1. What is he going to tell you? I caught up. Leave it, you take it. Gonna come to you, don't worry, tell me, take it on the chizbon. What I care, I'm selling for all up in Israel. No, come on. Guy's a millionaire, what do I need? Moshe Rabbeinu, at the end of his life, he's a multi-millionaire in mitzvot. He's not coming to Hashem and saying one last one, don't worry about it. He's still going, he's still steadfast. And what do we learn from that? The importance of a person who wants to be successful in his life, he needs to strive to be great. Don't ever be too sure of yourself. Don't ever think you're too great. You think, I'm the greatest thing in the whole entire world. I'm the best. I'm the top notch. And therefore, you don't think you have to work. If you're always going to put yourself on a pedestal, then guess what? You're never going to do the work. You're never going to do the work. If you always think you're holding in the best place, then you never want to grow. You never want to strive for growth. Why? Because you feel, I'm 100%. Even Moshe Rabbeinu didn't feel like he was 100%. Even Moshe Rabbeinu at the end of his life said, I still have to go get more mitzvot, more mitzvot, more mitzvot. Why? Kol sheken. How much more so us? That we have to feel the same way in our every life. To go and do more, to feel like, to never get steady, to never move. What do we say? I always say this, maybe anyone who knows me, who's been here long enough, he'll remember this saying, the world is constantly moving. If you're standing in one place, you're falling behind. What's it like? An escalator. What happens? If you're going on an escalator that's moving downward, right? Because it's constantly moving. If it's constantly moving downward and you're not picking up, if you're not moving, even if you're moving, you're staying in the same place if you're just moving slow enough. You're just staying in the same place. If you move faster, then you keep on going. What happens if you stop moving? Then you go back down to the bottom. Same thing in this world. When a person starts moving, when he says, you know what, I'm good. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm content. You know what, I'm chilling. I don't need to get any bigger. I'm 165. I ate a good night. I'm good. I'm good. Now he says, okay, I'm not going to the gym anymore. What's going to happen? Can you fly like a balloon? People are going to see the guy next week. What happened over here? The pump, the pump. No, I tell you what, creatine, not creatine, this, that. Those are common excuses. We got to keep on moving. We got to always strive for great. You could be the biggest girl in the world. You could be the biggest tzaddik in the world, but even still, it's not enough. That's how you're going to be great. That's how you can be successful in everything you do, because you never feel like it's enough. You want to see a proof in the Torah? Yitzchak and Rivka. Both of them, Rivka was barren. They wanted to have children, and both of them prayed to Hashem, different corners of the house. They prayed to Hashem that they'd be able to have a baby, and they prayed, and they prayed, and they cried, and they cried. And Chazal and the Midrash teach us, who did Hashem answer? Normally, who did Hashem answer, the man or the woman? Come on. The woman. Right? So who do you think who's going to answer now? The woman, right? Who did he answer? Yitzchak. Says the Gemara, what's going on over here? Normally, the woman's prayer is more powerful than the man's prayer. How do you know? A man has to pray 3 times a day. A woman only has to pray once a day. Why? Because she's more spiritually elevated. She's more spiritually elevated than the man. She doesn't have that same obligation to constantly be on call with Hashem because Hashem is constantly with her. We as men, we get drifted. You know what I'm saying? We need to constantly have that reminder 3 times a day. I don't know, wake up. You know, here's the guy that you're sitting with him all of a sudden. He's like, you know, hello, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Still there. Huh? So we need it. The woman, however, they're focused. How about this? You know, when you're going to get married, you're going to see, you're going to come home, the house is going to be dirty, everything like that, you're going to sit on the couch, you're not even going to blink twice. The woman, everything she sees. What is this? I see over here a fly. Everything you could possibly imagine to see. But what? What are you talking about? The guy, look about it. A woman is on a more in spiritually elevated level. She knows, she's more aware to these things. So she doesn't need it. So her prayers are obviously on a higher level. So obviously, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should have answered her. So why did he answer Yitzchak? Says the Gemara, Tzaddik ben Tzaddik, Adif ben Tzaddik ben Rasha. A righteous person, the son of a righteous person, is better, not givichot better, but it's a diff. I don't say a diff. It's preferred over a righteous person, the son of a wicked person. Why? Think to yourself. Imagine now a guy who was born, his father is ultra orthodox. He comes out ultra orthodox. You come to him saying, Ashrecha, wow, bro, you did big, bro, you did big, you did it really big. Wow, I can't believe you got over here. Okay, so we expected you to get here. Okay, go sit down, relax, right? But then you see the other guy, came from nothing. His father was with the agil, smoking cigarettes and Shabbat. You see him over there with the black and the white. So, wow, this guy is praiseworthy. So what do you mean it's a righteous person, son of a wicked person? Shouldn't he be more praiseworthy? What's going on over here? Says the commentary. What's the inyan over here? Obviously, we know that the places that a Baal Tshuva, a person who came back to religion, who never was in religion, came to it, even a tzaddik gamur, his whole entire life can never reach that place. A person who was religious his whole entire life can never reach the place that a person who's a Baal Tshuva was sitting over there. So what's going on over here? Says the Midrash, exactly this. Exactly the point we're talking about. You want to know what makes a righteous person, the son of a righteous person, greater? Is that he's always comparing himself to his father, and in the eyes, meaning in comparison to his father, he's much smaller than his father. You know, who am I compared to my father? Yitzchak, they come to him and say, Avraham. He says, who am I compared to Avraham Avinu? Ani klum. Ani feel nothing. Not even in the name. Chacham Avadia, his son Chacham Yitzchak. How do you talk about Abba, all day Abba? Ever see him in Shiurim? All he does is bring down his father. In his whole, you go to his halakha book, all you see, quote his father all day. Because he knows my father is great. Who am I compared to my father? So guess what? He's constantly humbling himself, putting himself down. He's not taking himself and putting himself level. Like, oh, me, you know why I am. Right? You know that guy whose son. Now another guy, who his father was a wicked person, or he came from nothing, and he walks around, bro, you know how far I came, you know where I was sitting, you know what I was doing, you know where I was at. And where is his head? In Shamayim. His head is in the clouds. He's already thinking to himself, I'm the number one, I'm the greatest. Guess what? That person, not as a diff. Obviously, there are those people who are Balei Tshuva, who are also humble and they know, whatever, who am I really compared to everyone in the whole entire world? They like to humble themselves. But in the beginning, someone may feel. So we see over here that a person who's a righteous person, the son of a righteous person, is a diff. Why? Because he's constantly looking and saying, who am I really? Putting his head down. What is the thing Hashem hates more than anything on the whole entire world? That's ruach. A person who has holiness. A person who comes and says, I'm the number one, I'm the best, I'm the greatest. Right? What is the trend now? I'm him. I'm him. No? I'm him? No, I'm not him. They come to you, that's you? No, it's not me. What's this? I'm him. Look at what the world got to. What did you even do, Tachlis? Huh? The world got to today. Everyone thinks you're the number one in the whole entire world. You take 2 texted videos on your phone. You think you became a multi-millionaire because you did this on the video, right? 2 times, and then 1 time you did like this, and that's it. Now you've got 100 million views, and you became a multi-millionaire. I'm him. You're not, buddy. What do you do with your life? Huh? Elon Musk, maybe he could tell you I'm him. Yeah, maybe. Okay, you know what I did? I traveled to the moon. I did. This guy, you know what I did? I invented this dance. And go to sleep already. Right? I'm him. This is I'm him. Ganuf. Huh? But the person with his head up in Shamayim, but man, he feels like I'm the greatest. Okay, the Rambam even proves this. Rambam, Holy Maimonides, what did he say? When he talks about Avraham Avinu, what does he call him? No? Matchil, the starter. And what does he talk about Yitzchak? What does he call him? Mamshich. Calls him the continuer. You see, this concept that we continue with it. That it's the idea that when I'm less than the person before me, and if I'm less than the person before me, then I'm always looking myself down. I'm always humble. I always have my head down. I always keep to myself a level head. And when I talk about a case, a beautiful case that actually illustrates this point from the Gemara, Masei Ta'anit, it talks about this inyan specifically. It says there was 3 people who asked Hashem something improper, in an improper manner, right? Hashem have a chabura every night. Anyone who knows in the chabura already knows the story. But we learn in Masei Ta'anit, one of the first tapim over there, one of the first pages, 3 people asked Hashem something in an improper manner, and one of them got answered improperly. Meaning 2 of them, Hashem answered them properly. They answered him improperly, Hashem still answered them properly. And one of them, he asked improperly, and Hashem said, I'm also going to answer you improperly. Who was that? Yiftach Giladi. Yiftach HaGiladi, remember? Yiftach HaGiladi? Huh? Who was this Yiftach HaGiladi? Yiftach HaGiladi was a guy who was born, his father's name was Gilad. It's actually my father's name, Gilad. Right? His father's name was Gilad. Actually, it was in last week's Parashat. Right? His father's name was Gilad. So a big tzaddik, righteous person, strong, gibor, bemet, really strong guy. He was married, he had kids, and he went out one day, and when he was out, he slept with a harlot, and she got pregnant. And she had a son, and that son, his name was Yiftach. Now, because his father was such a gibor, this Yiftach came out even bigger. He came out a sus, right away from the rechem, already 20 pounds. He was already came out, he was already like, what's up, brother? You know? So already brought like from the rechem. As soon as he came back to the neighborhood, to the family of Gilad, what happened over there? He said, listen, we can't accept you over here. We don't have our family, we have our this, you're from the outside. Listen, we don't judge anybody, but we don't want you over here. And they kicked him out. And at this same point, who passed away? Yeshua ben Nun. Talks about this in Shoftim. Yeshua ben Nun passed away. And what happened now? Ammon came, one of the nations came and attacked us. Now the Jewish nation was stumped, they were dumbfounded, they didn't know what to do. They're like, okay, we don't have a great warrior. So what did they think? Oh, you know who's a great warrior? Yiftach. What did they do? They called him back. They said, listen, yeah, buddy, there was a mistake. No, it was a mix-up in the system. We were looking for Riftach, not Yiftach. The guy called him back, says, no, it wasn't meant to be you. Come back. Okay, I'll come back, and on one condition, that Hashem promises me that I'm going to win this war. And I'll tell you what, if Hashem lets me win this war, I'll make a special promise to Hashem. The first thing I see when I get back from the war, I'll bring it as a sacrifice to Hashem. First thing I see, when I get back, I'm going to bring a sacrifice to Hashem. Now wait a second, it says the Gemara, this is a very improper thing. What happens now, one of the ideas of the Qurban, the sacrifice to Hashem, it has to be perfectly unblemished. What happens now, the first thing you see is a blemished animal, now you can't bring it up? What are you saying? The first thing I see. I'll go back, I'll take an animal that's proper for a Qurban, that's the one I'll sacrifice, the first thing I'll see. What happened to him? What was the first thing he saw when he came back? Who came out running out to meet him? His daughter. His daughter came running out to meet him. Now what happens now? I said with my words, I made a vow that if I win the war, which I did, and the first thing I would see, I would sacrifice on the Beit HaMikdash. Comes his daughter now. So he says, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Now this week's parasha in the beginning, he talks about something called Hatarat Nedarim. Nullification of vows. Right? To go, if you made a vow, unfortunately, you said something that you can't do, so you go at the end of the year, you sit down in front of 3 Dayanim. Everyone knows, on Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, everyone sits down, you get 3 guys sitting in front, Mahul Lecha, right? We do this Inyan, 3 people sit down, and we say, that all the Nedarim, all the vows I took on myself this year, nullify them. The nullification of vows. Now what happened with this guy Yiftach? What did he go do? You would think he went to do Hatarat Nedarim, right? He went to go nullify his vows. Who was alive at the time? Pinchas. Why did you go to Pinchas and do nullification of vows? What did he say to himself? Me? I'm the leader of the tribe. I'm the general of the tribe of Gilad. I'm going to go now put myself down to go to him. Says Tosfot, because he went with God's ruach. He had gava. He felt like he was great, so he didn't want to go to Pinchas. He didn't want to go to Pinchas. So what was his punishment? At the end of his life, Tosfot, all his limbs got cut off. All the limbs got cut off. According to the Radak, rather one of the commentaries, his daughter never got married. She thought that she was a korban. She was sanctified her whole life. She never got married. Every guy came to her, sorry, I'm holy. Sorry, I'm holy. I can't get married. My dad sanctified me. And according to the Rambam, he actually gave his daughter as a korban. He actually went to the Beit HaMikdash and gave his daughter as a korban. You know what I'm saying? We see HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't like people who are haughty. And not only that, a person who's haughty, he makes wrong decisions. He thinks, I'm great, I'm this. You're not thinking straight. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the one thing he hates more in the whole entire world is a person who comes with his head up in the clouds. He thinks he's great. He thinks he's the best thing in the whole entire world. Relax yourself, buddy. You're really not as great as you think you are. And when you have that mindset, then that's when all the bad things happen in the world. So Moshe Rabbeinu is teaching us, don't ever feel like you're great, you're a giant, you're gadol. Not even more than that. Don't think of yourself anything as great, and always strive to be better. Always strive to be a better version of yourself, a better, no matter how far you get. Be proud of what you accomplished. Be proud of what you did till today, but never stop striving to be better. Keep moving, keep on trying to be better and better and better. Keep on, never stop. Now I heard a story. Some people heard me say the story. I said it once before. It's a beautiful story. Happened a few hundred years ago, of a guy who was born, mother, father. And when he was 5 years old, unfortunately, we should never know, his father passed away. Now, when he was a little bit older, his mother got remarried. He was around 7, 8 years old, his mother got remarried. And when he was 12 years old, he left the house because his father was beating him. His stepfather, He was beating him, he was abusing him, he was treating him in an improper way. He says, you know what? I'm leaving the house. He left the house. He went to live with friends, he went hopping around. At 16, he dropped out of school because he wasn't able to live with friends anymore. What am I going to do? He dropped out of school to go work. At 18, finally, Yeshua, some type of help came, and what? He married a girl. 19, they had a baby. 20, she left with the baby and said, Salamat, I'm leaving you, and she went out the door. 45 years, he went from job to job to job to job to job to job, trying to be successful. Nothing he did. He got to the age of 65, here in America. They gave him a check of a Social Security check of $150. What are you going to do with $50 a month? What are you going to do? Can't buy today a pack of gum of $150. I'm only 65 years old, guy wants to retire. Wants to retire, $150 a month. Nothing. Now, what are you asking yourself? If you're that guy, if you're that 65-year-old, what do you want to do? Everyone in their life, what do? They work to tell themselves, I can't wait for the day I'm going to retire. I can't wait for the day I'm going to retire. 65 years old, working like a dog his whole entire life. He's not with his mother. His wife left him. His daughter's not with him. That's it. Khalas na. Kush Baruch Hu, it's ready my time. Take me. I had enough of it here. Right? But what did he do? No. Who cares about my age? Who cares about anything like that? You know what? I'm going to keep on pushing. He remembered that he had a family recipe that he had in his family for years. He says, you know what? One thing I know how to do is make this recipe beautiful. For my mother, for my grandmother, they have a beautiful recipe they gave me. And I know it well. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go invest in this. He gave everything he had for 2 years. The man is 65 years old, running like a chicken without a head to open up a company, to open up a business. 2 years, until the age of 67, running around. 67 years old. And when he was 67, somebody came and bought that company, which is today called KFC. Today it's called KFC. The guy who started KFC, the multi-million, if not billion-dollar brand that we see everywhere, should we never eat there, God willing, all right? But that place, imagine it yourself. Who started it? Not a young guy who came hungry from Tennessee. Hey, y'all, I came over here with my chicken recipe. No, not that guy. Not that guy. He came with a couple of cubes. Yeah, let's go, buddy. Let's go. Yeah. Right? No, that wasn't that guy. A 65-year-old guy is walking in with the chicken over here, barely walking. That's the guy who started the company. Came multi-millionaire. See, it's never too late. No matter where you are, no matter how far you are, no matter how great you are, you never want to stop striving because you never know. You never know where the next thing is going to take you. But on that, we have another question. When we strive to be better, what are we striving on? Some people might take this message and say, oh, strive to be better with business and money and this and that. Let's think about this guy from KFC for a second. 67 years old, just became a multi-millionaire. Is he happy now? He's already towards the end of his life. He's not enjoying his life at 67. I don't care how many millions you give him. No, his daughter left him, a strange father. No wife, no mother, no father. He's happy? At the end of the day, when we strive for things, you need to strive for things that are going to strive for you back. What do we mean to say? I mean to say, but a person is going to spend his whole life trying to be better with money, constantly running after money, then guess what? It's not going to bring him true happiness. At the end of the day, boom, someone else is going to spend it. He'll spend his whole life working like a dog. He'll have enough money. These people, you see them every day. We talk about it maybe 100 times. Right? Every single day you have these people who are worth multi-millions of dollars. No joke. I know about many of them. Multi-millions of dollars. You see the guy, he still wakes up every morning, 4:30 in the morning. He still comes home every night, 10 o'clock at night. He goes to sleep just to get a few hours sleep to go back to work. What are you working for? You have enough money to feed you, your grandchildren, children. What do you go? Take a day off, relax. No, I can't. I have to go. I have to make more. I got to chase. I got to hunt. I got to this. The early bird gets the worm. The last one out is the last deal in. Hey, all these things, all these in your name. And I go and chase for these things, but at the end of the day, they're not going to give me any happiness. Like the same guy with this guy. So it's good that we strive for things that are actually going to strive for us, as we know that a mitzvah is one of the things in the whole entire world that, like we know, that whenever you do a mitzvah, it'll never leave you. It'll never leave you. What's a famous story? Famous story of a king. We'll start with this story. Not stop with the story, start with the story. Where are we starting? Not like last time, huh? We have a story, a king. This is a real story, right? Who had an advisor. And he had many advisors, but one advisor he had was a Jewish man. And he very, very much loved the Jewish man. Because you know the people who learn Gemara, the Jewish people, they have a lot of strong wisdom. Come to them, talk to the Jewish guy in business, all of a sudden he starts breaking down the deal for you. Listen, you should have done like this, should have done like that, why you do like that? Right? They're very wise people. So who was his most trusted advisor? The Jew. Because he was Neman, he was trustworthy, he was straight. Everything he said, like Hashem was talking through his mouth. One day, the non-Jewish advisor, what happened to them? They got jealous. So wait a second, this guy's going to come over here, he's going to take a position, he's going to take a job? Yeah, right. So what do? They go to the king. You should know that this guy is stealing from you. Every time you give him a deal on the knee, he slips under the carpet a few dollars, he clips off the top. Don't think he's so trustworthy. So the king starts laughing. He says, who, him? He's like, let's go bring him. They go, they bring him. He says, I'll entertain you guys. He calls, he says, Reuven, do me a favor. How much money you want? The guys want to know. He goes to him, $600,000. Tells the king. The king looks at him, he goes, no, come on, be serious with me. How much you worth? He goes, $600,000. The king goes, now I see the mood of the king is getting a little bit different. Now he's getting a little angry. He says, wait a second. I'm asking you again. Remember, I'm the king. I know how much you make. I know what you own. I know everything. How much money do you have? What does the guy say? $600,000. He said, I'm going to give you one last chance. One last chance. How much money do you have? He goes, $600,000. The king, with anger, says, take him to the guillotine. We gotta kill him today. On the way there, the king was dumbfounded. He doesn't understand. My most trusted advisor for years. What happened? You had so much. Just be honest. Just say how much you have. I know how much you have. 600 million? What do you have? I know how much you have. 6 million? I know. Comes to me, I need to know what happened over there. Why don't you just tell me the honest truth? I know you. You're friends. We're like this with each other. Why don't you just tell me the honest truth? He says, the truth, king, I'll tell you honestly. You're right. I have a house and I have a car and I have all these material things. At the end of the day, what are they worth? Because you see, right now you decided to kill me and all those things are not mine anymore. So are they really mine? He says, no. He says, but you know what is mine? All the money that I gave to charity, all the money that my life I gave to charity, that's something you can never take away from me. The mitzvah that I did when I gave that money to charity, no matter how much you try, take off my hand, take off my fingers, take off my, whatever you want, erase me from the world. But the things that I did, you can never take away. Right? What's the name, Shal, too? Take a person now who did a good deed for another person, a life-changing good deed for another person. Imagine now. Okay, a woman or something like that, she needs help, and you were there for that person in the moment of need, or another person, whatever it is. In a way that it was. Now, if that, chas v'shalom, that person passes away from the world, is that person ever going to forget the thing you did for them? Never. What does it make a difference you're here or not here? That action stays forever. So too a mitzvah. When you do a mitzvah, it's something that can never be taken away from you. But all the money, the cars, and the women, think about it yourself during COVID, right? Businesses that were great became nothing, and people who were nothing became great. Think about it for a second. How many people that we know? Oh, P. How many P's? Okay, how many P's do you want? Right? He's really pushing P. Right? At the end of the day, what? Products, this, that. Then you need. Imagine, you have people who became multi-millionaires during COVID, and you have other people who became, oh my business, went to shambles. 2008, the market crashed in the real estate market. I know people who became nothing. And I know people who became multi-millionaires. Gosh Baruch Hu can take money like this and can give money like this. You can come and go. At the end of the day, if you're going to spend the rest of your life striving for money and all these material things, they come and go. And they don't bring real happiness. You're better off spending your life, Moshe Rabbeinu, striving for one thing. And even more important than time. Anyone who knows me, I'll tell them 100 times over. Time is the most important commodity in the entire world. Second to only one thing. A mitzvah. And where do you learn that from? Moshe Rabbeinu. Hashem says, I didn't give you a time to go. I didn't give you a time to go. But I'm giving you a mitzvah to do. What Moshe Rabbeinu do? Forget the time, I want the mitzvah. First thing he went to was the mitzvah. He didn't say, I want more time, I want more time, I want more time. Forget the time. I want the mitzvah. A mitzvah is even greater than that. A mitzvah is the best thing in the entire world. And when a person wants to know, what's the number one way to be successful in everything you do, taking this midah, is about being serious. When you're striving to be better in everything you do, it's about being serious. Everyone knows multi-millionaires. What do they tell you? How do you become successful as a multi-millionaire? How do you become a big great? Anything you do, successful in anything you do. You schedule your day. You schedule your day. You make for yourself a schedule. What do? The night before, the week before, whatever it is, you tell yourself, I'm waking up this hour of the day. I'm not waking up, not I'm waking up at 4:30 and I'm really waking up at 6:30. I'm waking up at 4:30, I'm really waking up at 4:30. Be realistic. I'm waking up at this hour of the day. From there, I'm going to here. From there, I'm going to here. From there, I'm going to here. Think about your own life and think about your day to day. When your day is not planned, how much time do you spend thinking about where you're going to go next? You're sitting in the car, the phone, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. No, maybe I'll go here. Maybe I'll go here. I'll go here. An hour and a half already passed. You could have done 100 other things, but you didn't know where you're going. You didn't know where you're going. All that time could be saved if you would have said to yourself the day before, I know what I'm going to do. I have a checklist of what I'm going to do. I spoke about this maybe 20 times. When I used to work in my old job, you would ask me, I was there for a year. You'd ask me, what are you going to be doing on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m.? I would tell you, I'll be on the Belt Parkway on the way home next to JFK. Tell the money. Where are you going to be at 8:31? I'm going to be in Avi Sari Shul learning downstairs my Chavruta Masech Ta'anit. Where are you going to be at 8:45? I'm going to be doing some curls over there in the gym. Where are you going to be at 10:30? I'm going to be making chicken in the kitchen. Where are you going to be? Every minute of the day. Every minute of the day was almost to the minute. But you know how much I was able to do in a day? I was able to work 11 hours, learn 2.5 hours, go to the gym, spend time with my family, shower my kids, everything you could possibly imagine. Go to 3 times tefillah, whatever you can imagine. I learned everything. Why? Because I didn't spend any time at the intrams. I knew where I was going. Boom, 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 boom. Everything was fast. Moving. That's the secret over there. A person has to be serious in everything he does. Everything you do. Until I heard a little story. It says a story about a doctor. Doctors, they work very, very hard throughout the year, especially the ones that work in hospitals. Work very, very difficult hours. Eventually, they get a vacation, they want to go away. Says his doctor to himself, you know what? I'm going away. That's it. I'm turning off the phone, turning off everything. I need a vacation. And Giazman, I'm going away. He gets on a plane. He's sitting down. He boards the plane, having the best time. He's sitting down. I'm really enjoying myself. He's sitting down. He's like, can you bring me a pina colada? Let's chill. No? Everyone here talk about pina colada. That's my favorite drink. Just in case you want anything. Says, let me get a pina, come and chill. All of a sudden, he hears someone in the back choking in the back. And the woman, everyone's sitting a penny. husband's screaming, what? She's choking. So he comes, he quickly gets up, he goes and he CPR, everything, gets the foot out of the thing, and then boom, walnut comes out of him. Some other guy comes up to him after, he says, I want you to know, you did everything over there perfectly, to the T. So he goes to him, thank you, I know I'm a doctor, but just wondering, what makes you qualified to tell me how I did it? He goes, I'm also a doctor. He goes, so where were you? I'm on vacation. A person has to know, when you designate, even the things like that, even the time that you designate for yourself, you need to designate time for yourself. I tell you that personally. When you take time for yourself, today I'm more busy than I've ever been in my whole entire life. But when I take time for myself, I designate the time for myself. I need to have that hour of the day, whatever it is, to check out. That's it. This is my time, don't bother me. You have to know that time. You have to have that time as well. Everything in life, you have to have a time for everything. There is a time for everything. But within that, you have to strive to always be better in everything you do. Everything you do, you have to strive to be better. And how do you do that? By putting time in, and being as serious as you possibly can. Giving 100 of yourself to that thing in that hour. Whatever that thing is, 1 hour of learning, 100%. 1 hour of gym, 100%. 1 hour family, 100%. Everything you do, make time for it, but be 100% in it. Don't be half here, half there, because they're never going to be successful in anything. You know that guy wakes up in the morning, he has 100 things, he's in 20 different places, 10% here, 10% here, nothing gets done. Better off that you plan the day. And you said to the 10, you said, I'm going to be 100 here, 100 here, 100 here. I guarantee you'll be successful. Because when you're here, I'm here. When I'm there, I'll deal with that. Leave me alone for that for a second, I'll deal with that when I get to it. That's one of the things that Moshe Rabbeinu is teaching us. That if you strive for greatness, strive for be better every single day of your life, and you're zariz, and you're quick, and you're steadfast in the things that you do, then you have the ability to be great. You have the ability to be greater than you can ever possibly imagine, to go beyond levels that you ever comprehend that you'll be able to reach. And the reality is, sit down, Avi, we're not done. Sit down. And the reality is, we'll finish with this story. This is the one. Huh? We'll finish with this. Huh? Don't worry, if it dies, it dies. Whoever is here got to get to be zochet to this. Okay? We have one more thing, we're going to finish with this. A beautiful story that I heard today. Something that I had to tell over the boys because I figured it's something that's relevant. Something nice. This week's Parashat talks about Nedarim, talks about vows. The Gemara Nedarim, the whole Gemara Nedarim on vows, talks about a story of a man who tells to his wife, he says, you will never benefit from me until you go to Rabbi Ishmael and tell him to come to me and tell me one thing that's beautiful about you. And the Midrash relates that his wife was a very unpleasant woman. So he told her, go over there, if he finds one thing beautiful in you, I'll take you back. But until then, don't come back into this house. She goes to Rabbi Ishmael. He says, you know what, I see this woman is suffering. I'll take it. But find one thing beautiful of her. So he begins to ask. He goes, maybe her head is nice shape. They're like, no, it's round. Okay, let's go, let's keep on moving. So maybe she has nice hair, She says, no, it's like flax. It's like, it doesn't look nice at all, frizzy. No, nothing's working over there. So okay, we'll keep on moving. So what about her eyes? It's very, very narrow. So, okay, we'll keep on moving. So what about her ears? He says, like an elephant. double the size. She went outside, was on the wind, she started flying. He says, what do I get myself into? So what about the nose? He said, stubby. Chunky with the hills. You can look from the side, it looks like Hollywood Hills. What's going on over here? Says, okay, maybe the lips. Maybe something to talk about over there. Says, no, they're inflated. Today it's called lip injections. But then, it was inflated. Says, what's going on over here? Okay, he says, okay, we'll move forward. What about the neck? Tell him, non-existent. Not there. Why do you guys bring me over here? How's the case? So, okay, what can I do? I have to move down. We have to, see what we can do. So what about her stomach? Maybe she has a good figure? She goes, no, she's round, very, very round. He goes, okay. What about her feet? Maybe she has nice feet. She's like a duck. Very wide, like a duck. He says, oh, what we'll get into. He says, maybe she has a beautiful name. What's her name? No, give her name. Anything you know, can imagine. What was her name? Luch Lachit. Luch Lachit, which basically means in Hebrew, dirty. It means dirty. Okay? What did he say? We found one thing beautiful. The name beautifully describes her beautifully. The name is exactly what she is. Tell the husband I was matira on her beautiful name because it describes her 100%. No, Luch Lachit. מה קרה, אחי? באמת מלוכלך. At the end of the day, we learn a beautiful story from over here. One thing I wanted to finish with this. I figured it was a nice story to tell the boys. But over here we learned something. If you're going to look for the ugly in a person, you're always going to find ugly. But if you look for the beauty in everything, and the beauty in every single person in the whole entire world, and you're looking for the good in people, then you're always going to find good. In life, it's very easy to find bad in another person. When you're looking for bad, you'll find bad. But when you're looking for good, I guarantee you'll find the good. Even if it means the name is Lachlachit. And that's the only thing that describes the person. But man, if you're looking for good, guaranteed you'll find it. Obviously, it's an extreme case. But this has to apply to every single one of us. That we're going out to the world. We know that right now we're in the 3 weeks. Why did I bring this up? Because right now we're in the 3 weeks, which is the period of time when we're mourning the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. Destruction of the Holy Temple. Now what happened with the Holy Temple? Chazal teach us that the second Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. Why? Sinat Chinam. Which is basically called baseless hatred. The Jewish nation hated each other. What does it mean? They only found bad in each other. They only found bad in one another. Him, he's like this. Him, he's like this. Says Chazal in the Midrash that every generation that the Beit HaMikdash is not built as it was destroyed in the generation. Meaning to say that we also within ourselves have Sinat Chinam. How did we get to that point? Because we were looking for the bad in people. How did we get away from it? Start looking for the good. When we start looking for the good, then we'll be able to find it. When we start looking for the good in other people, we'll find good in them and in ourselves, and guess what? We'll be able to all love each other. And when we do that, when will we be zochet to have the third Beit HaMikdash, the third and final Beit HaMikdash? And to finish off, just to summarize, 2 things we learn. How important it is to strive to be a better individual. To be a better individual in everything you do, to be better, to set times, to be steadfast in everything you do, to be zariz and move quickly in everything you do and be 100% steadfast in what you do. And secondly, it is to be able to find the good in people, and by doing so, finding the good in yourself, which would allow you to ultimately become the greatest person you could ever possibly be. And when you do that, then we'll all love each other, and Hashem will all be zochet to the Beit HaMikdash.